What is it, this fear of a plant, and where does it come from? Would you be surprised if I told you that the first law in the American colonies was made in favor of the plant, and it required people to grow it? Besides the fact that it has industrial usage capabilities, it was also recommended in the 1890s to be used in a recreational way as an alternative to alcohol, because alcohol in some cases led to violence and cannabis did not. Now see, you may be programmed to think that this is some kind of hippie argument, but a fact still remains a fact. Objectivity means the state of quality of being true, even outside of a subject's individual biases, interpretations, and feelings. How are we supposed to build a society if we are going to form its basis on a reality that does not take in consideration objectivity, but rather is based on malicious interpretations that are formed in our consciousness through repetition, either by authorities or in the media, and this is in regards not just to what we think about the plant, but also the way we view the world, the way we interact with others, and the way we treat ourselves. Émile Coué, a French psychologist and developer of the autosuggestion technique, relied on the belief that any idea exclusively occupying the mind turns into reality. He pioneered the ways in which the subconscious mind can be controlled in the beginning of the 20th century. Since then, many advancements in this area have been achieved and are being used not for the betterment of mankind, but for its control. Advertisement is one of the first places where the manipulation of the subconscious mind is used. Edward Bernays, a specialist in public relations and propaganda, was the first to attach emotional value to commercials rather than offering information about the product. In other words, getting you to attach emotionally to a product rather than choosing it rationally by reading what it can actually do.
There's something wonderful.
The whole town's talking about filter-tip Tarleton because all the pleasure comes through. The taste is great.
Now imagine how such psychological tactics could be used to promote one type of industry while trying to stop another. It is always about money and business. Looking at history, the criminalization of cannabis is filled with racism, fear, protection of corporate profits, yellow journalism, ignorant, incompetent, and/or corrupt legislators, personal career advancement, and greed. In the United States, in 1930, a new division in the Treasury Department was established, the Federal Bureau of Narcotics, and Harry J. Anslinger was named director. This, if anything, marked the beginning of the all-out war against cannabis. Anslinger was an extremely ambitious man, and he recognized the Bureau of Narcotics as an amazing career opportunity. A new government agency with the opportunity to define both the problem and the solution. He immediately realized that opiates and cocaine wouldn't be enough to help build his agency. So he latched onto cannabis and started to work on making it illegal at the federal level. Anslinger immediately drew upon the themes of racism and violence to draw national attention to the problem he wanted to create. He also promoted and frequently read from gore files, wild reefer madness-style exploitation tales of axe murderers on marijuana and sex, and Negroes. Here are some quotes that have been widely attributed to Anslinger and his gore files. There are 100,000 total marijuana smokers in the United States, and most are Negroes, Hispanic, Filipinos, and entertainers. Their satanic music, jazz, and swing result from marijuana use. This marijuana causes white women to seek sexual relations with Negroes, entertainers, and any others. This guy is the worst example of what Satanism is. I mean, does this peaceful music from the 30s sound satanic to you?
Cherry, cherry, I'll make a bed. Cherry, cherry, I'll get you yet. Someday, cherry, you'll be my pet. Right now, cherry, the date is set.
primary reason to outlaw marijuana is its effect on the degenerate races. Yes, racism was promoted in those times, and it appears someone used racism to advertise a law. Marijuana is an addictive drug, which produces its users insanity, criminality, and death. All legitimate studies show that cannabis is not addictive and there isn't a single death recorded from overdosing on cannabis. In fact, you can't overdose, it's a plant. He was just trying to make it sound dangerous and put it in the same category as heroin. Reefer makes darkies think they're as good as white men. Great, even more racism. Marijuana leads to pacifism and communist brainwashing. The communists were the main threat at the time, so political manipulation was also used for propaganda. Imagine them now saying, marijuana leads to Muslim jihad, extremist brainwashing. It makes no sense. Hearst and Anslinger were then supported by DuPont Chemical Company and various pharmaceutical companies in the effort to outlaw cannabis. DuPont had patented nylon and wanted hemp removed as competition. The pharmaceutical companies could neither identify nor standardize cannabis dosages, and besides, with cannabis, folks could grow their own medicine and not have to purchase it from large companies. Dr. William C. Woodward, Legislative Counsel of the American Medical Association, was the only one to question the bill's motives, purposes, and scientific fallacies. Woodward started by slamming Harry Anslinger and the Bureau of Narcotics for distorting earlier AMA statements that had nothing to do with cannabis and making them appear to be AMA endorsement for Anslinger's view. He also reproached the legislature and the Bureau for using the term marijuana in the legislation and not publicizing it as a bill about cannabis or hemp. At this point, marijuana was a sensationalist word used to refer to Mexicans smoking a drug and had not been connected in most people's minds to the existing cannabis hemp plant. Thus, many who had legitimate reasons to oppose the bill weren't even aware of it. Marijuana is a propaganda word used to make people associated with negativity and crime. Cannabis is the correct word, and you will never see it used very often in articles or news entries even today. Eventually, propaganda won over medical science. It is interesting to see that this propaganda had such a momentum to last up until today, when a vast amount of people and authorities still associate cannabis with negativity and crime. Fortunately today, perception on cannabis is slowly but surely changing due to cannabis activists and real science. In 2003, Canada became the first country in the world to legalize cannabis for medical use, and since then, other countries have changed their views on the whole issue, allowing cannabis for both medical and recreational use. It may seem shocking to think that this plant has the potential to heal many illnesses, as well as offer a peaceful and non-addictive way to recreate yourself, but facts are facts, and cannabis is not evil. The ones who made it seem evil are, as history shows, a bunch of racist, greedy extremists in positions of power in combination with corrupt justice and monopolizing pharmaceutical industry. In fact, they have put their claws on herbalism practitioners as well, with a giant list of herbalism ingredients that can only be sold in premises which are registered pharmacies and by or under the supervision of a pharmacist. In other words, you don't matter anymore. Your culture doesn't matter, only their papers and certifications matter, and you are a mere human resource for them, an artificial person. That is why I say we must get out of their system as much as possible, and if we can, try to change it. Our efforts have been successful in some departments with a consciousness change, but in other aspects we simply have no access to create any change. There are people from within the system who have to conceal their identity in order to take the alternative treatment they require for themselves or their loved ones. There are people with great ideas to help others that go outside their countries in areas where laws are more flexible to participate in the revolution. In the case of cannabis, it is a revolution of awareness and facts that strike at the core of our society with ideas of a healthier and happier world. I am a part of this revolution, and here is an example of a won battle, Cannabis Social and Medical Club from Spain. This club is called GSA, and it has been created to offer to people the possibility of using cannabis in a safe and relaxed environment without fear, whether recreationally or because they need it as an alternative treatment, where judgmental eyes do not exist. Even those judgmental eyes wouldn't be that way if they knew the true origin of the laws against cannabis.
Me and my friend took the plane directly to Spain to search, what's the best plan and the best local to do it and everything. So when my business in Holland was still going on, I was here already setting up all the things to make a new grow shop. And when I had all finished and my friend was already here, I was going up and down with the plane every month to go out to see how it looks and how things are going. And then when it was stable and all good, then I sold everything what I had in Holland and came with my family here.
GSA offers cannabis oil through the Dark City Compassion Club, an oil which has the potential to kill cancer cells. There are people who have went there to get the oil that have had doctors telling them that they have a few weeks to live. Those people are now walking around healthier with tumors reduced.
We took multiple plants and put them together. We're trying to lead them towards an indica, and there's a lot of sativas here in Spain. So by using that, we can take heavy indicas and some sativa crossbreeds and put them together, because we're not trying to get one strain to fix one thing. We're trying to find something here that'll do a multitude of things. So you're getting a more broader spectrum of what's in the cannabinoid. You'll find that maybe the THC level may come down, but all the other things will go up slightly, everything. So you get a more broader spectrum from the Mix Pro. And these, using lower quality materials, have been successful. Now, it's only from the bud, okay? From the bud now, that's why this is made. We have the bronze, which is from leaf, and maybe a little trim. We have silver, and then we have gold. The silver will be made from the smaller buds, and the sugar-coated trim, okay? Which is probably what a lot of people are making in the UK. A lot of people are making what we call bronze, which is from leaf. They're not bad cannabises, it's just they have a much lower overall profile, so these will be down to like 40-50%. The one we call silver will be like 50s up to maybe 70%, and you'll find that these are going to be at 70% upward, right? The bud, this is just made from pure bud, I'll show you that. And then eventually we do all of them separately, and we blend each oil to each person.
Are people healed by cannabinoids, or are these just miracles? That is, of course, for you to decide. There are those who will also try to scam you in buying fake cannabis oil, and you should always try to stay informed if you decide to be a part of the cannabis world. I recommend that you subscribe to the GSA YouTube channel to learn more and expand your knowledge about cannabis. It is not a mean wolf portrayed by some, but it's actually a plant that can do much positive works for our world and improve the lives of many. We live in times where technology and information is freely available, where we are free to express our opinions about anything. Let's use these times to learn and get involved in projects which improve the quality of human life. There are those that will try to stop us, and we are in danger of YouTube closing channels for what is considered hate speech laws. What if hate speech could also mean showing the truth about something which is prohibited to talk about in a positive way? Let's not allow such times to come. Fight for truth and not fall victims to biased interpretations. So are we promoting drugs? No. We promote life.